Hey everyone, Captain Amazing here, and today I want to talk about what do you do when you run out of Zetas and Omicrons for your teams. So let's jump into it. Zetas are pretty instrumental for getting your team to perform in the manner that they're supposed to be. And a lot of times, if you don't have Zetas on your characters, the team just isn't going to do what it needs to do whatsoever. So, what do we do when we don't have any more Zetas? If you're farming and you're just on a Zeta struggle bus, you're just like literally Zeta homeless, and you have tons of characters that need Zetas, to the point where you even can relic them, or you have fully relic characters that just don't have their Zetas. What do you do? Like my Zori Bliss and my Finn team, I don't have the Zetas to be able to invest in them. Believe it or not, I actually have the Omicrons, and I'm still thinking about what I want to do or how I want to invest these, because there's a lot of important characters I'm going to get here pretty soon, like Bo-Katan, Seer Junda. I need to do Zori Bliss, Terran Malicos. There's a lot of things I need to do here as far as using those Omicrons, but the big thing that's slowing me down is Zetas. I need Zetas on Seer, Cal, Zori. I have tons of characters that still need Zetas. Like I have I have my Darth Talon, doesn't have a Zeta. I have Mon Mothma with one Zeta, so I can't use her lead. I use her in my Leia squad. So there's a lot of Zetas where I'm just absolutely missing them. And what can I do? How do I do this? I've even seen players where they have like 4 Zetas on all their GLs, and they have tons of other Zetas on their teams. And it's like, what do you do? How do you overcome this Zeta deficiency that we have? And there's a few things that you can do: some money, some crystals, some free to play, and also some ways that you can kind of shift your focus so that you can work on things that don't require them. So let's talk about that first. So how do you start farming things that don't need Zetas? One key way is to work on characters that have Zetas but aren't in relics yet. So Darth Traya is a good example. A lot of players gear 12 her, and I recommend, hey, gear 12 her. My gear 12 Traya absolutely dunked a high relic with using a good level 6 support cron Gungans, and that Gungans team absolutely dunked on a good Jedi Master Luke team. They dunked on a few other things. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they dunked on JML. They absolutely destroyed 2 teams that were just better than Phoenix, I think it was. I don't remember exactly what it was, but absolutely just demolished them because they ramped so much crit damage that they just like one-shot the team. But my Gear 12 Traya with Savage lead was able to get through it. So a good character, but if you notice here, she has her 2 Zetas and an Omicron. So what does that mean? I can put this character on my farming list and farm her requirements and relic her up, as well as the other Sith that I have, possibly the trio. So Scion, Nihilus, just get them up and running, and that way they don't need more Zetas. Like the Zeta on Nihilus and the Zeta on Scion isn't that important. The most important is Traya has her Zetas in her Omicron, and Savage has his Zeta in Omicron. So if I wanted to, I can absolutely add this squad to my farming list, maybe before Bo-Katan, after, or whatever, and it slows down my current farm that I'm doing so that I can focus and start building teams that don't require any Zetas or Omicrons, because I already have Zetas and Omicrons on that team. So if you look at some other examples, if I wanted to, I could build up my Imperial Trooper team. So I have my Imperial Troopers to where they can be challenge tier 3 for both the assault battles with just Dark Trooper and Piet. I have relics on Iden and Scout Trooper because Scout's a requirement for Leia, and Iden is an excellent pilot. but the rest I don't have relics on. But do they need their Zetas? Not really. They're pretty effective without them. Even Moff Gideon, you want his Zetas, not his lead. His lead is more important if you're doing the Gidme squad, but otherwise this lead is just not needed because he falls under Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. So generally, if you are using him with Padme, you need this lead. Otherwise, you don't. You can just use put this Zeta on, or if you really want to. These Omicrons are just like damage, and mine's a low gear, so it doesn't matter. But I can absolutely bring these troopers up to relics, and that way I can start using Datacrons with this team and getting some better use out of them. And I really don't need Zetas to make them more effective. They're more luxury Zetas, so that's another way. So just take a look at your roster and see, because I see it all the time. I see characters in the Gear 12 range or even lower that already have Zeta investments. Some characters don't need Zetas to be effective. So look at your roster. Like Imperial Super Commando Gar Saxon, they're a great candidate to take to relics if you put them under like a Maul team or something. They're very good. They're very strong. Pretty niche on what they can do, but good overall. So you have to look at these opportunities where, you know, we're all on the grind to get GLs, to get those S tier teams. But go ahead, take some time, build up those teams that you have that are just effective without their Zeta, and then that way you can start you can get some actual improvement on your account, and then take a break on these teams that need Zeta and Omicrons. And that way, while you're building those teams that have their Zeta and Omicrons, then you can save up some Zetas to use on your next farm. All right, so next let's talk about how else you can kind of solve this issue, and that's luxury Zetas. So we all have luxury Zetas on our characters. Sometimes characters just get older and then their Zetas just aren't effective anymore. Like Grand Inquisitor, if you have his lead Zeta, is that a bad Zeta? No, absolutely not. If you don't have Reva, you could use this lead Zeta for a very long time. But the second you get Third Sister, that lead Zeta kind of like falls apart, because even in threes, you don't split up the team. You don't put like Grand Inquisitor leading half the Inquisitors and Third Sister leading the other half. You don't do that. You use Third Sister, and then you put Grand Inquisitor with Seventh Sister in there, and you call it a day. That's it. So what do you do with his lead? You don't do anything. So, but it's a good Zeta overall. So you look at like, okay, well, what's luxury Zetas? Kylo Ren's lead Zeta, absolutely a luxury Zeta, but I got my money's worth 3 years ago when I applied it. So you have to look, okay, what are actual luxury Zetas? So if you look here, this is like the definition of a luxury Zeta. So light side enemies have -10 speed, doubled for Jedi for Darth Bane's lead. The absolutely unnecessary Zeta. It just does not move the needle whatsoever. And that's a luxury one. Same thing as this Malevolent Whirlwind. Absolutely a luxury Omicron. Unnecessary to apply it. So you have to look at these things where you can take a break, not apply them. Same thing, Queen Amidala, the lead, a luxury Omicron. It's so luxury, they only make you pay the Omicron mats because they know, hey, maybe if we put some other abilities on here, that may be the tipping point of where people don't want to apply this. So you have to look at what characters are there, what Zetas, what Omicrons are they absolutely necessary. Like Captain Rex, I put Master Marksman. Why? Because I didn't even look at it when I applied it. I just applied all his abilities, and I was like, yeah, this is an important character, I want all these abilities. And a lot of people fall through those traps. So it's not the worst in the world, but do I ever get use out of it? A Zeta pretty much for doing plus 28% damage, and then the cooldowns, like I never get a kill with this. So is it a good Zeta? No, absolutely not. It's absolutely a luxury Zeta. So save yourself the heartbreak of applying these absolutely crucial materials on luxuries, and that's how you can work through your Zeta backlog so that you can apply only Zetas that are essential for the team to be good. All right, so let's talk about some ways that you can just get more Zetas. So free to play, there are events that you can do. Like we just had the Dathomir event that gave us Zeta materials if you had a 7-star Mother Talzin. And then if you have Wicked, that's another event where you can get a 7-star, here, this one. So you can get 2 Zetas if you have a 7-star Wicked. So that's a very easy one. You get it monthly. Assault battles are huge for Zetas, so you get 2 Zetas every month for every assault battle you can do. So that's other free Zetas you can get. Crystals. So a lot of people don't really talk about this, but in the store there's these daily deals, and daily deals, if you have favorited a lot of characters that need Zetas, then your daily deals are kind of based off what you have favorited, what's your farming. It's kind of, I'm sure it uses some sort of AI learning to see, okay, what do you need, and then it's going to give you that. So this, if you notice, I don't have my 1600 tier here, and that's because, surprise surprise, I bought it. I know, right? Crazy. But the reason I bought it was it had 7 Zetas for 1600 crystals. And if it has 7 or 8 Zetas in it, I buy it because I have a surplus of crystals that I get because I have more income than I do for refreshing my energies, because I refresh all the energy 3 times, and that's pretty much what I use my crystals for. And then my bottleneck right now is Zetas. If you look, I have tons of, I have Omicrons to apply. I have relic characters that are just missing Zetas. I have signal data. I'm accelerating my farms. I was able to finish 2 big farms this month. So everything is going really well. The one thing that's holding me back, Zetas. So I'm putting my excess crystals in the bottleneck that is holding me back, and that's these Zeta materials. Next, I want to talk about money. So you can try to, if you wanted to, spend money on these. I don't really recommend it. I did buy the $5 pack for Zetas. That's why you can't see it here. Let me log into my free to play. I actually bought this because it is a bottleneck for me, and I was happy with the minimum roll. So if I spent, and I thought about it, if I spent $20 on 16 Zetas, would I be happy for it? I wouldn't be happy, but I wouldn't be upset. So I ended up buying this the 4 times for $5. So I spent $20 on it, and I ended up getting, I believe, 26 Zetas, and I got 4 Omicrons and some Omegas. So overall, I was okay with it. And the result, I usually don't buy gamble packs, but it was priced so low that I didn't mind it. So I stay away from things like this, where it's 30 Omicron abilities, and I don't remember the price because I'm on the PC client in Japan. It won't show it to me. It just comes out with like an error for some reason. But it was something in like the $60 to $100 range or something like that, and I don't buy those. It's like grossly overpriced in my opinion. So if it's something cheaper like $5, yeah, I'll buy that. That's fine with me. I just don't. I'm not gonna spend one huge lump sum like that for something like just Omicrons, and to me this isn't worth it. I think the Omicrons are priced very, very heavily. So I'm not going to buy that. But that's some things that you can do so that you can start alleviating some of these Zeta crunches that we have, especially with Lightspeed bundle enjoyers. So let me know in the comments what you do, how you kind of deal with the lack of Zetas. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.